And we are back again with another special guest. Now this guest, she might be small, but she's strong and well.
Okay.
She is floating like a butterfly on these tracks.
Yes.
She's immensely talented.
Thank you.
She's very beautiful. She's the princess of College Park. We got the one and only Dree Jack in the building. How you doing?
What's going on?
You good
I'm
or whatever?
I'm good. How you doing?
I'm good. Can't
That's
complain.
good.
Can't complain.
That's good. Thank you for having me.
Yeah, for sure. I like what you're doing out here. You making some moves.
Thank you.
You're doing some
Thank
things. How's
you.
that feel to be just living in your purpose?
It feels amazing to be living my purpose.
For real?
That's a good question. Yeah,
It does?
definitely.
Okay.
Yeah.
You feel like you're on the right path. You know what you're doing?
Yeah, and I feel like because I'm living in my purpose, everything is moving how I need to move.
See, man, you're lucky.
Yeah.
A lot of people don't get to do that.
They
A lot
don't.
of people don't find their purpose.
They don't. I feel like that's my purpose.
Blessed.
Trying to get people to know, what their purpose is for them to move in that.
All right, inspirational. So you are, of course, an R&B singer, but just an overall musician. So what was your introduction into music? How did you, come into this lifestyle? What were your earliest memories of music?
Well, my dad's a pastor, so I grew up in the church singing with my family.
Okay.
We were the praise team. My brother played the drums. My other brother was the praise team leader. Like me and my sister, we were on the praise team, So I grew up, So I grew up singing on the praise team at my dad's church. And then when I was in 7th or 8th grade, I did musical theater. I did a play at Tri-Cities High School.
Okay.
And my siblings went there at the time. And I did a play there, and I was like, I kind of like this. We could only listen to gospel music. So doing a play and doing a musical and listening to like musical theater music, I was like, okay, this kind of different.
Right.
I kind of like it. So I went into high school doing musical theater, and then my brother was my manager at the time, and he started like bringing me around different artists who he was working with, and they were like R&B artists or pop artists. And so I kind of got influenced from that, and I told him, I said, I want to make my own song.
Right.
And so for my 16th birthday, he did a session for me. And after that, I was like, yeah, this
Like
is
a
what I
studio
wanted.
session.
Yeah, studio session.
Okay.
And so I recorded my first song, and I performed it at my birthday party. And after that, I was like, yeah, this is more my lane. Like, I liked musical theater. It's always going to be like a passion of mine, but I really got like the energy and the vibe from doing my own music, like in the studio and stuff like that.
So what about that musical theater, that play that you did? What was it that woke you up to say, like, you know what, this is different. It's something different about this part. Because I feel like in the church you're still performing, you're still like on stage.
Yeah.
So what was that difference there?
I feel like in the church it's more, it's gospel and it's one lane.
Right.
With musical theater, I was shy too. I'm the baby of 4. So I was like in the cut, you know what I'm saying? Like I wasn't trying to really be in the mix. But doing musical theater is dark. You can't see nobody out in the audience.
Right, okay.
But just the lighting of it all, the music, it just felt like, oh my God, where am I? Like, this is amazing. And so then like after that, I did musical theater all through high school. We did multiple plays, once on this island, Color Purple. So all of those, that kind of really taught me how to perform, like how to be a performer, how to your facial expressions, the way you amplify your voice, and things like that. So it's definitely it was a teaching tool for me. But I love musical theater. I always love musical theater.
So like, how did you transition into more like the R&B? What were some of your like biggest inspirations growing up? Like Whitney? Were you a Beyonce fan?
Definitely Whitney. My brother was a Beyonce fan, so we listened to her a little bit. But John Legend.
John Legend, yeah.
Let's see who else. Music Soul Child. Those were like artists that my brother would listen to. Right, so we listened to that. But gospel artists too, like Yolanda Adams, CeCe Winans. When you listen to like Kirk Franklin, they all have R&B, vibes in the mix of that. So it's all connected. So yeah.
I think of course, Usher. That was like
Usher too.
I remember his early music, and he's just always been around since I was little. And I'm like, dang, Usher still doing this.
Yeah.
I'm like,
I went to see him in Vegas. Man, you gotta go.
He was for real.
Amazing.
Oh man.
Amazing. He got it. He ain't gonna never leave. It ain't gonna never leave him. He got it. He still got it.
So you mentioned your family, and I see you post a lot about your family. You guys are pretty close, it seems like. So what kind of role are they taking in your career now? Like, how's that family dynamic going?
It's
now that
going,
you're grown and you're out here.
Right. All the kids grown now. It's going well. Like all of us are in the music industry or in the industry of entertainment. My brother's an artistic director, creative director. My sister's on Broadway. Wow. So it's like all in the mix, and my parents, they just support us all. You know, they're at the shows. They want to get the mic any chance they get. You know, so I passed the mic to my mom. I have a song called Desire, and it's a sample of Shaka Khan, and so she loves Shaka Khan. You know, so whenever I can, I'll bring her on stage. But it's just to like, you know, give them their props, because a lot of families, you know, can't all have talented kids and they not jealous of each other. Or they not, you know. So it's a real blessing to have that tight knit.
It's like some families have a family business, like they have a construction business. But it's like you guys have a family business, and it just happens to be entertainment. So it's like you guys can can relate on that level, just aside, you know, from just being family.
Exactly, and have those conversations like, okay, like talking to my older siblings, like, okay, I'm doing this, what y'all think? How should I charge them? How should I have a conversation with them? You know, just like so professionalism too. Yeah, exactly, for sure, for sure.
So some people might not know, but you went to school for music management, right?
Yeah.
So how has music management, your degree, how has that helped you so far in your career? Do you go back to those textbooks and see stuff like, man, I'm really running across this now?
Yeah.
Because I don't have that one. I got a psychology degree, and I don't use like none of it, but it's all good though.
I mean, you're talking to people and, you know, getting in their minds, so it's still working. But no, I went to Georgia State for music management, and I went
to Georgia State.
Yeah, Georgia State, GSU. Happy homecoming. But I went to Clark first for vocal performance, and then there was a little charter too much, so I had to get out of there. But once I looked at Georgia State's like majors and stuff, I was like, this seems like more like it, because I was doing my music like full time still while I was at Clark. Like I produced my first EP at Clark my freshman year. So once I put that out, I was like, okay, this is really what I want to do.
What was that experience like? Going to school and then having to work on the project at the same time?
It was crazy. First of all,
just gloss over that. You just went right past that.
It was crazy. Like I was going to class, and then my producer, he lived literally like right up the street from Clark. So I would just go to his house after, and we would just be working. Like I would be at school in the morning, at the studio at night, like almost every day for real. So that work ethic, you know, just was instilled in me from then. So I was able to put out my first EP, Queen of Hearts, on SoundCloud at the time. And then I performed at homecoming, like the tailgate, like the concert or whatever before. And I was able to sing, you know, songs from that. So just that experience alone really just put everything into perspective for like how I wanted to move. And being an independent artist at the time, like my brother was my manager, but I didn't know nothing else about it. Like I'm just calling him like, okay, so, or like listening to whatever he was saying. So I was like, I want to know a little bit more. And so once I moved schools, I looked at the majors and I was like, music management makes the most sense for what I want to do. And I like being behind the scenes too. So if I knew if my career didn't work out as a singer, I'm like, I could be somebody's manager or like, you know, something in there. Yeah, it still be around it.
So when you went to Georgia State, did they make you like perform or something?
Yeah, I was in the choir.
Do that, but I was like, damn, I gotta perform. Like,
yeah, man, that choir, man. Oh man, that was, I hated that shit.
Shout out to Georgia State.
Shout out to Georgia State though, for sure. Y'all making moguls out of there. But
so that's pretty dope, because I mean your story sounds like a lot of, you know, musicians nowadays. Musicians that I know that were going to college and then after class just going to work on their album. So it's the grind. That's part of it. That's almost like you gotta pay what you owe.
Exactly. Going to the studio, having performances,
like you're really
rehearsal.
Working. Like it's a real job. Like it's like a real job.
Definitely a real job. For sure.
So earlier this year, you won a contest. Was it a contest?
Yes, it was a contest.
It was for Issa Rae's radio label, and Google Creators Program.
Yes.
So tell me about that. What was that whole process like? How did you even find out about it? What did you have to do to win that? And how did it feel to win it?
First of all, it felt amazing. It still feels amazing. It's the gift that keeps on giving out is what I called it.
Okay.
But so I found out about the program through Instagram.
Okay.
So they had a program before, a contest before, where you could, independent artists could submit their songs to become like one of the singers or one of the artists on Insecure, like for the last season of Insecure.
Oh, that's big.
Big, right? So I was like, let me put my shit out there and see what's going on. So I had music out already, like I had just released Lifetime and Picky. But I still had like other songs, and so I was like, let me just, put them in there and see what happened. So I didn't get chosen for that, but I was on the thread for the like anything else that was coming through.
Right.
And so then I got the text message for the Google Creators Program, and I was like, let me just try it.
Right.
I sent the same exact songs that I sent from the first contest, and I like did it. And with musical theater, I learned like with auditioning and stuff like that, like they don't really call you to tell you if you got it or not. Like
you gotta follow up.
If you don't have it, you never gonna hear from them again. If you do, then they'll call you and be like, okay, come for the call back, and stuff
so
like that.
No news is not good news.
Exactly. And so when I didn't hear nothing back, I was like, well, I guess just for that. But I just kept going. It's like you put yourself out there and then you just go for the next thing. And so when I got the email, I really had forgot about that I did it.
So what amount of time is this from
when
you send it to when you
it was like 2-3 months.
Dang, okay.
Yeah, it was exactly. So I was just working. Like I was just like, okay, I did it. I made sure it was straight, and I checked back on it like maybe a month after. But after that, I was just like, okay, let me just not put my mind, get too wrapped up in it. I'm a Virgo, so I overthink.
Not just playing.
So yeah, I found out in February that, like early February, that I got it, and it was like, what? Like it was kind of like is this real? Like I'm checking the email, making sure this ain't no spam, no people like trying to, exactly. Okay. And so yeah, I got it, and I had a conversation with the team, and it was basically, a program where they were amplifying independent artists who didn't really have a voice or they needed help or resources or things like that. And because I was still working, like I had a production team already who I've been working with for 10 years. I was forming my team, my management team here in the city. And so it was just perfect for them to come in and like be like, okay, what do you need? Like literally, that's what they said on the call. Like, what do you need? And I'm like, all right, well, I need, because I'm already working. I'm like thinking.
Actually, I'm glad you asked.
Actually, okay, what's the move, So it was a beautiful experience to just be able to voice what I thought that I needed, and have that that industry advice to be like, okay, well, yes, this is what you need, and this is how we can help you, and then this is how you can help yourself as well. So they produced the EP for me called The Other Side. Go check that out on all platforms.
It's dope. I listen to it.
And produced videos for me. And because I was already, working with my production team, I was able to funnel the money into 2 videos, and, music management helped me divvy up the money, see what I need to do, what teams I need to be working with, venues, locations in the city that I can, advertise as well. So it was just a beautiful experience to work with them. Then they partnered with So Far Sounds to do a tour for us. So that was my first tour. And I've put out music before, but I've never had like a promotion, a full rollout for it to be like as big as it was. So it was just a beautiful experience to do everything that I've ever dreamed of, for my music with a label. Issa Rae's label. She knows my name. Like, what the hell?
Like you
crazy.
Like
yeah. So shout out to radio.
Shout out to them. Shout out to them. So you mentioned your Other Side LP or EP. I'm sorry. So how was that process of making that album? How did the extra push that radio gave you? How did that really help you make your EP into fruition? Like what did they really do?
So they like talked to me about my idea for like the next project that I had or what songs I was thinking of. So we had like a whole listening session really of what I had already recorded.
Right, okay.
And they were like, well, do you want to do new music? Do you want to, you know, and I was all in. I was like, yeah. Let's do new music. What you got? So they hooked me up with some producers, The Breed, YA, and Snacks, and they are Grammy nominated producers.
Shout out to them.
Shout out to The Breed. They work with Chris Brown, Earth Gang, like all the names. And so they were already in Atlanta, and so they just, you know, booked the sessions for us. So we really recorded the EP in 3 weeks.
Wow.
Crazy, you know, crazy. But that goes to like their professionalism and their creativity, and just being able to like talk to me. We had a Zoom session before we met each other in the studio, just to, you know, catch a vibe, like see how see if we connect. And we connected on the Zoom call, so they was really excited to just like meet me in person. So that made it even more, you know, better for when we actually got in the studio. But for me to like voice where I was like in my music, like, okay, I want more instrumentation, or I want to be able to like really talk about where I'm at in my life, and for them to hear that and like bring back the tracks and it like completely mesh, you know? And like when I talk about like space and could have been, my favorite tracks on there on the EP is like it came just like that, you know. And so it's like
effortless,
and that is like alignment, divine, you know, all those things, because it's like I was waiting for that moment to be like, okay, this is the music that I absolutely love, that I could perform anywhere, and like I'm telling everybody about it. I'm on the belt line, like, hey, you listen to my single space, like. So it's just beautiful. Like radio, The Breed, Google, like.
That's your fan. That's
fam
now.
Yeah, for sure.
So on the EP, you have, was it 6 songs? Right? So in each song has a different type of vibe. Like you got a trap record, you got like an alternative record, you got like a pop record. So how was that whole process of getting all of those different types of sounds and really making it still yours?
Yeah, they were just like, you know, playing different songs or different records, tracks that they had. And it was really like whatever day we was having, for real, or whatever I wanted to talk about. We recorded Could Have Been first. That was the first song we recorded. And they just played it, and I was like, okay. And I was like, let's talk some shit on this. Like, let's, you know, like that's the vibe I was in. And it was like, you was all that when we first met. Like, okay, yeah, we can go with this. You know, because everybody has that relationship experience to where it's like, okay, it was good in the beginning, and then it kind of flipped to the other side, you know. So all of the songs are really like true experiences, and with the writer Avery, who was in there with me, like it was a collaborative effort. Like everybody was like chiming in on their personal experiences as well, to like just put it all together. Yeah.
That's cool. That's cool, because I'm like, dang, she can go into really any lane she want to go into.
Thank you.
You're like real versatile.
Thank you.
So you dropped Butterfly in 2019, and the other side this year. What do you think? How have you grown as an artist since then?
I feel like I'm more transparent, and I'm more like open to creating with others. When I did Butterfly, I was doing it really all by myself until this year, for real, like until like last year and this year. And so I feel like that it hindered me in a way, but it still like, you know, allowed me to move how I wanted to move. But in the creative space, it's hard to create with others who don't understand, you know, the process or like how you do things. But I would say like,
you gotta get that team right.
Exactly. And so like I would say now it's easier for me to have an open mind to like, okay, if I say a line, or if I have an idea for a business plan or something, and I could say it wholeheartedly, you know what I'm saying, confidently, and then if somebody disagrees, I can still listen to what they got to say and be like, oh,
but I'm choosing to do something.
Well, that kind of makes sense. Or be like, okay, well, can we put it together, like put our ideas together?
So
it's
more open to
more open to like other ideas, and more collaborative, just to make the end goal like go crazy. You know, like it's not about now; it's about like later.
And I've interviewed artists, and it's a recurring theme. It's like, you know, you can't do it by yourself. You need that team.
You do
need that team. That's what the team is for.
Exactly.
You see these big artists, these artists that go from independent to just being huge. It's because they have a team.
Yeah.
You know.
Yeah.
You can't do it just all by yourself.
Yeah.
So switching gears a little bit, you work closely with Tiny from Escape, right?
Yeah.
So how did that whole relationship come about?
I really just auditioned for real. That she was holding auditions for background singers.
Oh, okay.
And at the time, I auditioned, and my brother worked with her team before too. So I auditioned, and at the time, my grandma got sick, and so I auditioned, and then I flew to Louisiana to make sure she was straight. Unfortunately, she passed away.
I'm sorry to hear
But
that.
thank you. But after, like, I was there, they had called me back, and I was like, well, I'm in Louisiana.
Right,
like,
yeah.
I'm not, I'm not
Hey,
leaving. You know what I'm
right.
saying? But when I got back to Atlanta, they needed me. Like, they was like,
So it still
okay,
worked out.
somebody dropped out. So are you still interested in stuff? And so that was like my first big background gig with the artists. I sang for Dej Loaf before Tiny. But that was like a one-off thing. We did a festival in Alabama. But Tiny, like we did like a couple shows in the city and then like out of town, and it was just cool to see. Cause I'm from College Park, so she's from the South Side. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah,
And so,
she hometown hero.
yeah, so it was cool to like see what her work ethic was to get to where she was. Like the group Escape, Candy went to my high school, so it was just all in the mix. It's just like, okay, just taking,
Right.
taking
Just
lessons,
learn
taking
where you
it,
can,
yeah,
yeah.
to learn what I need to do to get to where she is and stuff like that. But it was cool, yeah.
Was
Shout
there
out to
any
Tiny.
advice that she gave you that kind of stuck out and something that's helped you along your way?
Nah, she just be talking for real. She just cool as hell, honestly. Like, if we just having a conversation, you just take, a little
you just
nugget.
take a nugget.
But yeah, she just like,
You just learn by watching.
yeah,
Not
learn by
seeing it,
watching
right.
and doing what I need to do. You know what I'm saying? Not to be like lazy in rehearsal
Right, exactly.
or, like knowing all the songs when you get there. But I've learned that from like musical theater and stuff like that. You got to be prepared. Always got to be prepared.
It's a lot of work. It's
It
a lot
is,
of work.
yeah. Okay,
It's a
on
lot.
TV, national TV, like things.
Right.
We would find out like one of the shows was being filmed for Family Hustle, like the week of.
Right.
So it's like, oh,
Where you go? Like you gotta move
okay,
like that. You gotta
like
drop
okay, make sure
everything.
you know all the music, the moves, everything. So yeah, her, Tiny, Tiana Taylor. I've sang for Tiana Taylor,
nice.
Earth Gang, most recently on Jimmy
Shout
Fallon
out to
last
them.
year or earlier this year. So yeah, it's
So you
been
moving
a
and
nice
grooving.
ride.
You moving and grooving.
Yeah.
You have a recurring theme of a butterfly that goes throughout your music and your Instagram and your persona. So what is the significance of that butterfly?
Okay, the butterfly represents my brother. He passed away in 2008, Vaughn Jackson, and so when he passed away, a butterfly would come to the house, and he wouldn't let nobody else see him but me. And so after that, it's just been like a significant thing for me to like know where I'm going. He was doing music before he passed away as well, and so it's just like a guiding light, kind of. I named my EP after him. I did a tribute song to him on that EP, but it's just like my motivation for real, I would say. And now, like with the other side, it's basically just like I say in one of my songs, my dreams are meant to float like butterflies.
Right.
It's kind of like now I understand more, like
It's all coming
what it
together.
meant. Yeah, like what it means to like really float and just let your ideas flow. And if they work, they work. If they don't, they don't. But it's still your idea and it's still your career path to where you can go, wherever you want to go. Like the options are endless, you can go as high as you want to go.
Exactly.
If you want to chill, you can chill too,
Do what you want. It's your
yeah,
world.
do what you want. It's your world. So yeah, that's the significance.
So the butterfly just serves as like a tribute and a
Yeah.
reminder to your brother.
Yeah.
That's good because I have the same thing with one of my cousins. Like I'll hear a song, while I'm out because he was in music. He was actually managing artists.
Oh wow.
And he
Yeah.
ended up, he passed away. But the bands that he was working with, they had some pretty big songs.
Yeah.
And sometimes I'd be out and just hear one of their
Yeah.
songs, and I'm
You like
like, dang, like
I hear you.
yeah, you hear it.
Yeah,
You right.
Locked in.
Right. So you mentioned, of course, performing arts. So where do you see your career going? Do you see yourself like branching out from music, like doing some acting or going on Broadway or something?
Yeah, definitely. I haven't been on Broadway, but I've done like readings for Broadway shows and things like that before. So I got a little connect out there, but I would love to do everything, acting, film, movies, TV, even managing, or you know, like on the back end, like creative direction. I love, you know, putting things together just to see the full product come at the end. So anything really, but definitely a tour.
A tour for sure.
Singing my own music, you know, with by myself or with another R&B artist. I opened for Jasmine Sullivan on my birthday this year. So who knows what's next?
Right.
Yeah.
So do you like being on the stage? Do you like performing the most, or do you like recording, performing?
I like performing the most. I like the process of the studio. It's definitely like soothing to me.
Really?
But
it's not no pressure.
No. It's cool. I like the studio. Yeah. I love the studio. But performing on stage with the live band,
right.
Find me there.
Right, yeah, that's
where I'm gonna be at for sure.
Okay. Because I feel like I'd be nervous trying to sing. I gotta hit all the notes. Everybody watching.
The words.
Right, and I can't sing a lick, man.
Oh, God.
I wish I could, but I can't.
Oh man, but yeah,
being on that stage, I've seen you on that stage, and you're comfortable. You have that confidence, and you look like you put a lot of work into your.
I do. Rehearsals, band. I have a full band wherever, or I try to bring them wherever I go. But yeah, it's a full process. Rehearsals, making sure they know the song,
right.
Set list, payroll. You know,
everything.
All the things that people don't know independent artists do. But you know, it all comes with it, and that's what I love. So
what's your process when writing?
It really varies. Like if I'm going to the studio and the producer already has something, you know, that they want me to hear, then I'll listen to that, and whatever sticks out, we'll go with that, and then we'll just start writing from there. Or if we just all cooking up at the studio all at once, then we could go that way too. But I'll just do like some passes of it. Sometimes the melody will come to me like right off back. And then sometimes it might take a minute, but you know, we just vibe and just let it, you know, flow. Like working with other people, like I said, like now it's easier for me to like, you know, bounce ideas off and it's more comfortable and not stressful to be like, oh my God, what do I need to say, you know, because that's how I used to be, you know, exactly. So perfection is, I gotta get out of it, but yeah, I think I'm doing good. I think I'm doing well. But yeah, just letting it flow and just seeing, you know, where everybody is in the vibe, like, oh, how your day going today? Or like, how your week been? What you been dealing with? You know, stuff like that is what really makes a true song and can like, you know, go to the multitude and be like, oh, people feel it. You know, that's what I want to do for every song. I want everybody to feel it and feel like it's their, you know, their story, or if they can rock with it on the way to the party, or like, you know, stuff like that. Like all areas of the life.
You got music for any occasion, it seems like.
Thank you.
Yeah, when you're sad, you know, might need to let one of them tears drop a little bit. You know? Put on some Dre. You want to get turned? Shit, get lit.
Yep.
Put on some Dre.
Yes.
So you all over the place with it. You all over the place with it. So what have been, you know, being an independent artist and seeing other artists that may get signed and maybe, you know, start blowing up in a different way versus an independent artist that's really grinding and blowing up in their own way. Would you ever see yourself signing to a label? Like,
if it makes sense.
If it makes sense.
Yeah.
So what kind of things make sense? Like if a label's coming up to you and saying, you know what, I think Dre, I think we should sign her. What they need to come with?
I would just say, you know, open mind. I am an independent artist, so I would love, and I've been an independent artist for a minute, so I'm kind of locked into like, it's it's kind of my way or the highway, you know what I'm saying? But in a way, like I'm still open, you know, to hearing what you got to say. But of course, still having creative control. I can bring my folks on with me, like my management team.
I heard that, bring people with you.
For sure, because that's who you've been working with. You know what I'm saying?
Exactly. They know
these new folks don't know nothing about you. They don't, you know, they wasn't in the trenches with you. But yeah, like bringing my folks on with me and just having an open mind. To like where I want to go. Like, of course, I would listen to what they have to say or like what their vision is. But if it doesn't align with where I want to go, then
be like, nah.
It don't even make sense. You know, it has to make sense for sure.
That's dope. So, what are I know you got like one or two dream collabs. Like, if you want to work with this artist, like it would happen today.
Yeah.
Like, what are those dream collabs for you?
So I got two.
Oh, you already came.
I got two. I got two. So a collab with Monica.
Okay, another hometown hero.
And J. Cole.
Oh, okay.
Yeah.
J. Cole. Yeah, I fuck with those. So what is it about those two artists that make you want to collab with them?
Monica just from Atlanta, R&B star. Right. So I listened to her like when I was doing like artist development. When I first started my career, I was singing her songs, like everything I was doing in rehearsal. Right. I'm at the karaoke with it. I'm at, everything, open mics with it. So that was just like a creative mogul that I could, just look up to. And then J. Cole, I've been listening to him since like high school, like ninth grade. And so like just his lyrics, his lyricism, and the way he carries himself on stage and off stage, it's like, okay, because he that nigga, you know what I'm saying? Yeah, he really he gonna pop it. He gonna pop it if he want to, but he chill. That's me, like I'm that.
Yeah, we need to make that happen, man. We need to make that happen, Cole.
Yeah,
that's pretty dope. Because definitely a huge Cole fan, and definitely a Monica fan. She's from the town.
Right.
Okay. Yeah. So for the upcoming R&B singer that's coming up that sees what you're doing and sees how. They like what you're doing out here. You making moves. You everywhere. You all over. You with Issa Rae in there. So, what kind of advice would you give to a young up and coming R&B?
I would say, just one, keep your head up because this shit get hard.
What does that look like? What does it getting hard look like?
Getting hard, like people telling you no. People, like you gotta get in the buildings, like get on the shows, and like it's hard to make your name a name for yourself in the city. You know what I'm saying? But like for me, like I was doing every show that I could, whether I was getting paid or not. Like just putting it out there, showing people like what you can offer, like what you have. Definitely keep your head up. So showing what you got to offer, and not getting real, discouraged because it's an industry that's not really, camaraderie.
Competition.
Yeah, it's a competition always. And so like just to not get, waver when it gets to those moments, and have your work ethic on point, because you're gonna be doing this your shit, like this your job.
What does the work ethic look like?
Work ethic crazy, man. Going to school and going to the studio in the same day, like, or at the studio recording and getting the masters done before it need to be done. Graphic designers, all the things. Graphic designers, paying the people, photography,
it's like
promo shoots. It's all of the things that have to go into what you see when you go to your Apple Music or Spotify or YouTube or things like that. And then just do what you want to do. Like put out whatever your heart desires. Put that out. That's your art. That's what God gave you.
Right.
So
you heard that. All right, that's some good advice right there, because y'all think it's going to be easy.
It's not easy. It's rewarding, but it's not easy.
Yeah, you got to put that work in. So what do you have coming up? You got any more projects on the horizon? Any videos? Any TV shows? You going to Oprah next? What's going on?
Who knows? Okay, who knows? I'm trying to get on that Jennifer Hudson show. But right now, I do have a new music video coming out, Feel Away, for my another song on the EP, The Other Side. Feel Away will be out
like the pop record,
this week. Yep. And so just check that out. Subscribe to my YouTube. We got some BTS rolling out soon, and it's on there already in the studio with Dre Jack. But yeah, we just seeing where God takes us next.
Well, listen, this has been a pleasure. We are definitely looking forward to everything you have coming up. We're going to support it. Keep doing what you're doing. We see you out here. We see you.
Thank you.
Well, thank you again. It's Dre Jack, and that's a wrap.